Giants also, I believe, represent dream figures, figures of the imagination, figures of nightmares.
Throughout history, stories and legends of giants have been passed down from generation to generation. These tales often describe colossal beings of incredible strength and size, towering over their human counterparts. Despite the prevalence of these stories, the existence of giants has been a topic of debate and controversy among scholars, archaeologists, and historians. This video aims to explore the top proofs and discoveries that suggest giants once existed on Earth. The idea of giants has been prevalent in human history for thousands of years, with various cultures recording encounters or tales of these enormous beings. These accounts can be found in religious texts, folklore, and even the writings of renowned historians, suggesting that the concept of giants was not only widespread but also taken seriously by ancient societies. One of the most famous historical accounts of giants can be found in the Bible, where they are referred to as the Nephilim. These beings were said to be the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, resulting in a race of mighty and powerful giants. The story of David and Goliath further supports this notion, with Goliath described as a giant Philistine warrior who stood over 9 feet tall. These biblical accounts have been interpreted by some as evidence of the existence of giants in ancient times. Similarly, Greek mythology is filled with stories of giants such as the Gigantes, a race of enormous beings born from the blood of the castrated Uranus. The Gigantomachy, a legendary battle between the gods and the Gigantes, is a recurring theme in ancient Greek art and literature. And another notable giant in Greek mythology is the Titan Atlas, who was condemned to hold up the sky for all eternity. These myths and legends, while often symbolic or metaphorical in nature, may have been inspired by real encounters or discoveries from the past. Ancient historians also recorded accounts of giants. Pliny the Elder, a Roman author and naturalist, wrote about a 33.5-foot tall giant named Gabarus, whose remains were allegedly displayed in Rome. Likewise, the Greek historian Herodotus documented the existence of a race of giants in North Africa called the Garamontes. While these accounts should be taken with a grain of salt, they do demonstrate that the concept of giants was not only part of mythology, but also considered a historical reality. In addition to these well-known examples, many cultures around the world have their own tales and legends of giants. In Norse mythology, the Jotnar were a race of giants who lived in the realm of Jotunheim, often coming into conflict with the gods. Native American tribes such as the Paiute and the Navajo have oral traditions that speak of giants called the Sitakar and the Ani respectively, who once inhabited the region. Even in Asia, legends of giants can be found, such as the Chinese folklore of the Kwa Fu, a giant who chased the sun in an attempt to capture it. Now, in some cases, historical accounts of giants might have been inspired by the discovery of large animal bones, which were misinterpreted as the remains of enormous humans. For instance, in the 15th century, the discovery of mammoth bones in Italy led to the belief that they belonged to a race of giants known as the Teutonic Giants. Similarly, ancient Greeks may have mistaken the fossils of large prehistoric animals for the remains of the Gigantes, fueling their legends and stories. However, not all accounts of giants can be easily dismissed as misinterpretations of natural phenomena. Some stories involve detailed descriptions of encounters with these beings, such as the 12th century Irish text, the Book of Leinster, which recounts the tale of Finn MacCool and his battle with a giant named Aline. The specificity and consistency of these accounts across cultures and time periods suggest that there may be some truth behind the tales. It is also worth noting that the concept of giants is not limited to mythology or folklore. In the 16th and 17th centuries, reports of giant individuals such as the nearly 8-foot Charles Byrne and the over 7-foot-tall Anna Swan began to emerge in Europe and North America. These unusually tall individuals were often exhibited as curiosities and attracted considerable attention. While their height can be attributed to medical conditions such as gigantism and acromegaly, their existence demonstrates that people of exceptional size have lived throughout history, lending some credibility to the notion of giants. Historical accounts of giants can be found in a wide range of sources, from religious texts and mythology to the writings of ancient historians. While some of these accounts may have been inspired by the discovery of large animal bones or natural phenomena, others offer detailed descriptions of encounters with giant beings that are difficult to dismiss. The prevalence and consistency of these stories across cultures and time periods suggests that the idea of giants may have been rooted in reality, providing a compelling starting point for further investigation into the existence of these colossal beings. By examining archaeological evidence, giant skeletons and fossils, legends and myths, and scientific theories, we can continue to explore the possibility that giants once roamed the Earth. And the existence of giants has been a topic of interest and fascination throughout human history, with various cultures documenting encounters or tales of these enormous beings. Evidence of these accounts can be found in religious texts, folklore, and even the writings of renowned historians, suggesting that the concept of giants was not only widespread, but also taken seriously by ancient societies. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence for the existence of giants comes from the discovery of giant skeletons and fossils. Over the years, numerous claims of giant remains have surfaced, generating considerable interest and debate among scholars, archaeologists, and the general public. While some of these discoveries have been debunked as hoaxes or misinterpretations, others remain unexplained and continue to fuel speculation about the possibility that giants once roamed the Earth. In the 19th and the early 20th centuries, several reports of giant skeletons emerged in North America. For instance, in 1877, a 10-foot-tall skeleton was allegedly unearthed in Castelnau-le-Lay, France. The remains, known as the Giant of Castelnau, were examined by a French anthropologist who suggested that the individual may have been a member of a race of giant humans. However, the authenticity of the discovery has been questioned, and some researchers have proposed that the bones may have been misidentified animal remains or the result of a hoax. Similarly, in the 1800s, numerous newspaper articles in the United States reported the discovery of giant skeletons in Native American burial mounds. These accounts often described skeletons measuring between 7 and 9 feet tall, with some even claiming to have found remains over 12 feet in height. However, many of these reports lack the necessary documentation or physical evidence to verify their claims, leading some experts to dismiss them as exaggerations, misidentifications, or outright fabrications. However, despite the skepticism surrounding many of these discoveries, there are a few cases that have garnered more credibility among researchers. One such example is the Lovelock Cave in Nevada, where a team of archaeologists led by Llewellyn L. Loud and M.R. Harrington uncovered a cache of artifacts and remains in the early 20th century. Among these findings were several large skulls and bones, which some have suggested belonged to a race of giants known as the Sitacar, mentioned in local Native American legends. However, the true nature and origins of the Lovelock Cave remains are still debated among experts, with some arguing that the bones represent unusually large individuals rather than an entirely separate race of giants. In addition to these disputed cases, there are a few well-documented examples of exceptionally large human remains that cannot be easily dismissed. The discovery of the Giant of Java, also known as Meganthropus, is one such instance. In 1941, the Dutch paleontologist Gustav Heinrich Ralph von Koningswald discovered several large hominid teeth and jaw fragments on the Indonesian island of Java. These remains were later attributed to an extinct hominid species which some researchers believe may have been a giant relative of modern humans. However, the exact classification and significance of Meganthropus remain uncertain, and further research is needed to determine its relationship to the human evolutionary tree. Another intriguing discovery is that of the Giant of Cerne Abbas, a large chalk figure carved into a hillside in Dorset, England. The figure, which measures approximately 180 feet in height, depicts a naked man wielding a club and is believed to date back to the Iron Age or even earlier. While the origins and purpose of the Cerne Abbas giant remain a mystery, some have speculated that it represents a local deity or legendary figure associated with giants. However, it is essential to approach the subject of giant skeletons and fossils with caution, as many claims have been debunked or discredited over time. However, it's also important to consider the possibility that some of these discoveries may represent genuine evidence of giants or unusually large humans who lived in the past. Across the world and throughout history, countless legends and myths involving giants have captivated the human imagination. These tales often describe larger-than-life beings possessing extraordinary strength, size, or abilities, playing significant roles in the cultural narratives of various societies. While many of these stories are likely to have been influenced by oral tradition and storytelling, their prevalence and consistency across different cultures suggests a possible basis in reality. In Europe, one of the most well-known giants in mythology is found in Greek lore. The Gigantes, born from the blood of Uranus, were a race of powerful beings who often fought against the gods. The Titans, another group of immense beings in Greek mythology, were considered the precursors to the Olympian gods, and their leader Cronus was eventually overthrown by his son Zeus. These stories, while rooted in myth, could potentially represent ancient memories or encounters with exceptionally large individuals or groups of people. Norse mythology is also rich with tales of giants. The Jotnar or frost giants were considered both enemies and, at times, allies of the gods. They inhabited the realm of Jotunheim, one of the 9 worlds in Norse cosmology. Numerous stories recount the battles and encounters between the giants and the gods, with the giants often playing the role of chaos bringers and antagonists. The giants in Norse mythology could be seen as representing the forces of nature, or perhaps even metaphorically symbolizing the challenges faced by the ancient Norse people in their harsh environment. And in the British Isles, giants are also a prominent feature of folklore and mythology. The stories of Jack the Giant Killer and Jack and the Beanstalk, for example, centre around a young hero who confronts and defeats various giants. Additionally, the Arthurian legends contain references to giants, such as the tale of Sir Gawain in the Green Knight, where the eponymous Green Knight is depicted as a giant warrior. The prevalence of giants in British folklore may reflect the historical encounters between native inhabitants and invading forces, with the giants symbolizing the fears and struggles faced by the local populations. Native American cultures across North America also have their own unique legends and myths involving giants. The Paiute people of Nevada, for instance, tell of the Setakar, a race of red-haired giants who allegedly lived in the region long before the arrival of the Paiutes. According to the legend, these giants were eventually defeated and driven out by the Paiute ancestors. Similarly, the Navajo people recount the story of the Anai, a group of monstrous beings who were ultimately destroyed by the hero twins, Monster Slayer and Born for Water. These stories, while rooted in oral tradition, could potentially represent encounters with real groups of people who were perceived as giants due to their size, appearance, or behavior. African mythology also contains references to giants. The Dahomey people of West Africa, for example, believed in a race of divine giants called the Gleti, who played a crucial role in the creation of the world. The Gleti were said to have been responsible for shaping the landscape and creating the first human beings. In East Africa, the Maasai people tell of the Ilat, a race of giants who inhabited the land before the Maasai arrived. These stories, although clearly mythological in nature, could potentially represent ancient memories of encounters with exceptionally large individuals or groups of people. In Asia, tales of giants can be found in various cultures as well. Chinese mythology includes the story of Quafu, a giant who attempted to chase down the sun and capture it, only to perish from exhaustion and dehydration. While the existence of giants remains a subject of debate and speculation, several scientific theories have been proposed to support the possibility that these colossal beings once roamed the Earth. These theories range from examining the physiological plausibility of giant humans to exploring the impact of environmental factors on human size and development. One such theory focuses on the concept of island gigantism, which is the tendency for certain species to evolve larger body sizes on islands relative to their mainland counterparts. This phenomenon is observed in various animal species, such as the extinct dodo bird and the Komodo dragon. Some researchers have suggested that similar evolutionary pressures could have led to the development of giant humans in isolated populations. However, this theory remains speculative, as no definitive evidence has been found to support the existence of giant human populations evolving through island gigantism. Another scientific theory revolves around the role of hormones, specifically the human growth hormone HGH, in the development of giant humans. HGH is responsible for stimulating growth, cell reproduction, and cell regeneration, and abnormalities in its production can lead to conditions such as gigantism and acromegaly. Individuals with gigantism typically experience excessive growth during childhood, while those with acromegaly develop enlarged features and body parts during adulthood due to excessive HGH production. It is possible that genetic mutations or environmental factors may have contributed to the development of giant humans in the past, though such occurrences would likely have been isolated and rare. The field of paleoanthropology has also provided some insights into the potential existence of giants in human history. While no direct evidence of giant human ancestors has been discovered, the study of extinct hominid species has revealed the presence of exceptionally large individuals within certain populations. For example, the fossil record of Homo heidelbergensis, an ancient hominid species that lived around 700,000 to 200,000 years ago, shows evidence of individuals who stood over 6 feet tall, significantly larger than the average height of their contemporaries. While these individuals were not giants by modern standards, their size may have given rise to legends and stories about colossal beings. It is also worth noting that the Earth's environment has changed significantly over time, which could have had an impact on the size and development of ancient human populations. For instance, during the Pleistocene epoch, which lasted from 2.6 million to 11,700 years ago, the planet experienced a series of ice ages, with vast ice sheets covering much of the northern hemisphere. These environmental conditions could have influenced human evolution, leading to the development of larger body sizes as a mean of retaining heat and adapting to the harsh climate. Another factor to consider is the influence of diet on human growth and development. Throughout history, the availability and quality of food resources have played a critical role in determining the health and size of human populations. In prehistoric times, the consumption of high-quality protein sources such as large game animals may have contributed to the development of taller and larger individuals. However, the relationship between diet and human size is complex and multifaceted, and it's unclear how much of an impact these factors may have had on the potential existence of giants in the past. While definitive proof of the existence of giants remains elusive, various scientific theories offer intriguing possibilities for the development of exceptionally large humans in history. From the role of hormones and genetics to the influence of environmental factors and diet, these theories provide a framework for understanding how giants may have emerged in certain populations or under specific circumstances. Although the idea of giants continues to captivate our imagination, further research and discoveries are needed to shed light on the reality of these colossal beings and their place in human history. The study of human growth anomalies and conditions such as gigantism can provide valuable insights into the potential existence of giants in history. While most instances of gigantism and other growth disorders are the result of genetic mutations or hormonal imbalances, they serve as a reminder of the incredible diversity and variability within the human species. By examining these conditions, we can gain a better understanding of the factors that contribute to exceptional size and stature, as well as the challenges and implications faced by individuals who exhibit these characteristics. Gigantism, a rare medical condition that results in excessive growth during childhood, is usually caused by an overproduction of growth hormone due to a tumor in the pituitary gland. This condition can lead to individuals reaching heights of well above the average for their age and sex, often exceeding 7 feet tall. Acromegaly, another growth disorder, occurs when there is an overproduction of growth hormone during adulthood, leading to the enlargement of certain body parts and facial features. Both gigantism and acromegaly can be associated with a range of health issues such as joint pain, cardiovascular problems, and reduced life expectancy. Throughout history, there have been numerous documented cases of individuals with gigantism or other growth anomalies who achieved extraordinary size and stature. One famous example is Robert Wadlow, who at a height of 8 feet 11 inches holds the record as the tallest person in recorded history. Wadlow's exceptional size was the result of a pituitary tumor that caused an overproduction of growth hormone. Other notable individuals with gigantism include Angus MacAskill, a Scottish-Canadian giant who stood at 7 feet 9 inches tall and was known for his incredible strength, and Anna Haining-Bates, a Canadian woman who reached a height of 7 feet 11 inches. In addition to these well-documented cases, there have been numerous instances of individuals or populations exhibiting unusually large stature throughout history. For example, the ancient Dinaric people who lived in the Balkans were known for their exceptional height, with some individuals reportedly reaching heights of up to 7 feet. Similarly, the Tutsi people of Rwanda and Burundi have long been recognized for their tall stature, with some men averaging over 6 feet tall. While these populations may not be considered giants by modern standards, their size and stature would have been quite remarkable in their respective historical contexts. The study of growth anomalies and gigantism can also provide insights into the physiological limitations and challenges associated with exceptional size. For instance, the square-cube law, a principle derived from biomechanics, states that as an object's size increases, its volume increases at a greater rate than its surface area. This principle has significant implications for the structural and functional limitations of living organisms, including humans. As an individual's size increases, the stress on their bones, joints, and internal organs also increases, potentially leading to a range of health issues and complications. This factor suggests that there may be an upper limit to the size that humans can achieve while maintaining a functional and healthy physiology. Moreover, the study of growth anomalies and gigantism raises important questions about the social, cultural, and psychological implications of exceptional size. Throughout history, individuals with gigantism or other growth disorders have often been subject to curiosity, fascination, and even exploitation. In some cases, these individuals were celebrated as heroes or figures of legend, while in others they were ostracized or treated as objects of ridicule. Understanding the experiences and challenges faced by individuals with gigantism and other growth anomalies can provide valuable insights into the potential realities of giants in history and the ways in which they may have been perceived and treated by their contemporaries.